You can say 3.5. You can't say fourth generation. You can't maneuver like a fourth generation fighter. But 2019, when I was the chief, it was better than the LCA.
Yeah.
LCA didn't have flares that time. Yeah. LCA did not have a BVR that time. LCA did not have a self-protection. It was far superior. Low speed handling, it was far superior. Yeah, the missiles, they had a beyond visual range missile. We had a normal missile. But the missile, see, the Russians had designed it to take on the B-15. It was also designed that, okay, if a person is receding away from you, it's an IR missile, you are supposed to get it above the horizon and then fire. And you could fire it as low as 2 kilometers. But the question is, otherwise, it was not designed for close combat. You couldn't fire it more than 2G, the overload lamp used to come out. Till the R-60 came with close combat capabilities. So it was not a close combat missile by any chance. So it was meant to shoot down bombers. We are using the same aircraft to shoot down everybody, including the fighters.
हमने LCA तेजास JF-17 से मुकाबले के लिए बनाए थे, लेकिन तेजास 2019 में भी JF-17 से बहुत पीछे था। 2019 जब BVR कैपेबिलिटी एक फाइटर जेट के लिए बेसिक ऑप्शन होती थी, तब भी भारतीय तेजस तैयारे बगैर BVR कैपेबिलिटी और फ्लेयर्स के आते थे। ये मैं नहीं कह रहा, बल्कि साबिक भारतीय एयर चीफ BS धनोवा ने इंकशाफ किया है। कहने को तो इस इंटरव्यू में BS धनोवा अपने आप को सुपरमैन साबित करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और अपनी हर कामयाबी बयान करते हुए एक भोंडा सा कहकहा जरूर लगा रहे हैं, लेकिन इसी दौरान BS धनोवा ने एक बड़ा इंकशाफ कर दिया है और भारतीय यूट्यूबर्स जो पाकिस्तान के JF-17 को जंक कहते नहीं थकते थे, पाकिस्तान एयरफोर्स को औकात याद दिलाते थे, आज उनके साबिक एयर चीफ BS धनोवा ने ही उन यूट्यूबर्स के चेहरे पर थूक दिया है। मजीद साबिक भारतीय एयर चीफ इस बारे में क्या बात करते हैं, आइए जानते हैं उनके डिटेल इंटरव्यू में।
Okay, that is how we correct it. Where has the system gone wrong?
Chief, the MiG-21 evolved, obviously. And then the ultimate variant, the Bison, which is being taken out of service next month, considerably different platform, fires the R-77 and R-73 missiles. It has that Copio radar. It's got at least one MFD inside. How was it for its time? A massively different aircraft and, in a sense, fourth generation.
You can say 3.5. You can't say fourth generation. You can't maneuver like a fourth generation fighter. But 2019, when I was the chief, it was better than the LCA.
Yeah.
LCA didn't have flares that time. Yeah. LCA did not have a BVR that time. LCA did not have a self-protection jammer that time. So, when people ask me why was Abhinandan in a MiG-21 Bison, then I said the LCA couldn't have been put there. You see that the program was running so many years behind time. Ideally speaking, it should have gone. And we should have had a more capable fighter sitting out there. But then we didn't have. So this is the best that we had. And not only that, it also had, for the first time, it got a guided bomb, the Carb series of bombs. Electro-optical, all right, but very accurate.
Yeah.
So it was in system-wise, and plus it had autopilot, it had ILS. All your heart in the mouth recovery to bases under bad weather was much better as compared to our time.
And then, of course, you mentioned Abhinandan. Here in 2019 was a relatively young Indian pilot over Pakistan in a MiG-21 Bison. This is typical Indian Air Force. You always took the MiG-21 into battle, and he took it way into battle. We feel certain that there were Pakistani aircraft that went down, at least one.
Yeah, I was very certain on that day because, first of all, the track was missing, which we showed to the press. And secondly, and second is they had launched an SAR helicopter. Now you don't launch an SAR helicopter to pick up a POW. Because the enemy pilot, when he lands, he'll vanish from there. He has to hide himself. He's not going to be at the same place. Whereas your own pilot will go to an RV point and expect to get picked up. So they had launched an SAR helicopter. We had heard the RT of the SAR helicopter. In fact, I rang up Vipin Rawat also. I said, Rawat, they've lost somebody. And if he's on our side, please pick him up. It will be a great propaganda value for us.
Yeah.
So that is how I know one. Electronic signatures that we have fed into our system indicated it was an F-16. That is how nobody saw an F-16. I mean, that is how we are saying it's like right now, the same argument which we are giving that time, that we are saying it's an F-16 based on electronic signature, is the argument they are giving this time.
Yeah.
They are saying we have shot so many aircraft based on the electronic signature. Arey bhaiya. How about acknowledging what happened last time?
So just going back to the MiG-21, when it first came into the Indian Air Force in 1963, it did initially have a gun, but then it didn't have a gun. Then the gun came back. Then there were radars which were introduced, missiles which were introduced. How did this over a period of time become a much more capable platform?
You see, the Type 74 or something.
Yeah.
That was with the P2 head below.
Yeah.
I think there was one version, the first version of it, which had a gun.
Yeah.
Then the R2L radar came, and R2L radar came with the missiles. Then the Soviets were looking at the B-52. But to shoot down a B-52, the missile was far better than coming close to getting a gun. So they removed the gun. Okay, and clean aircraft can fly faster, no gun. So they removed the gun, and it had only the missiles. And I think Indian Air Force persisted with them, and finally we got the Gapa 9 gun pod.
Yeah.
We can all say that Indira Gandhi and Brezhnev were great friends, but what I saw in the Air Force history group, that people said there were only 5 to 6 gun pods per squadron in the 71 war. And you had a choice, either you could carry a tank, ventral tank, or you could carry a gun. So then the Type 96, the MF, first time came with the integral gun.
Yeah.
In fact, 1971 is a watershed point under Wing Commander Bishnoi, when MiG-21 became a multi-role aircraft, from air defense aircraft, in which he went to Kurbitola and Tezgaon and used the Russian M62 bomb, and he dug such big craters. You could stand in it. You see photographs of people standing in it. And with those attacks of the MiG-21 on Kurbitola and Tezgaon, he effectively grounded the Pakistan Air Force in the Eastern Front. A job which was supposed to be done by Canberras, which are our bombers, was done by MiG-21. Then the attack on the Governor House with rockets at the time when he was, the meeting was taking place in Dhaka, was also done by MiG-21 with rockets in the strike role. So you can say that is the watershed point in 1971 when we changed over from air defense interceptor to a multi-role aircraft. And then, of course, 1975 or something, the Type 96 got inducted. The MFs came first, and then the R-11 equipped HAL aircraft came later. So then it had capability for both air-to-air as well as air-to-ground.
So
then, of course, the BIS came with a better radar on the Almaz, and better thrust, better maneuverability. And it had a stupendous amount of thrust with the EPR below 2 kilometers. And can you imagine an aircraft that was designed in the 50s, or you see it came in the 60s, had a G tolerance of 8.5, and the F-16 came, much later, end 77 or something, had a G tolerance of 8. So it was designed as a very robust and maneuverable aircraft.
We used it imaginatively in exercises against the Americans also.
That was the Bison.
That was the Bison.
Bison.
And it did well.
Yeah, it did well because...
How on earth did it manage?
No, it did well because...
Against F-15s and F-16s?
They did well because they underestimated us. It is not that... You can't say if you put up a Bison against an F-15 in that combat situation, he'll win. No, it is not that. They underestimated us.
And what did our pilots
because
do?
Our case, you see, we had everything. No? We had the Bison with the radar. It also had the Israeli jammer and things like that. So that was, I think they had not anticipated that.
And we claimed kills.
No, that was... See, in an exercise like this, the parameters are set.
Right.
Okay, like missile parameters are the same. In real world, like we saw, the MRAM far outranges the R-77.
But be that as it may, in these limited exercises, limited by both sides in terms of criteria, we had MiG-21 pilots claim kills against F-16s and
especially
F-15s.
a lot of times, especially that we also did that, I think, close combat and things like that. So, I mean, they have acknowledged the fact that they were surprised by it. It's not that there's a squadron of F-16, F-15, you could take it out with a squadron. It's not like that.
As we start wrapping this up, September is when it's going to be goodbye for the MiG-21. How would you look at that day when it finally happens? About 2/3 of all IF pilots have been MiG-21 pilots at some stage. Would you bittersweet for you? I mean, those are my words. How would you look at that day?
A lot of nostalgia, and the question is, our heart is there, but the mind should say very clearly that it was time that it has gone out.
Right.
Because in a battle environment of today, it became difficult for it to survive.
After your ejection, Chief, how did your family deal with you getting back into the? I want to know that as well.
That is a very interesting thing. You permit me some time.
Yes, please.
You see, I told you, our squadron, I used to call it the 101 Para Brigade, because we had 8 ejections in a span of 3 years. So there was this flying officer. That time was flight lieutenant Nandi. The guy ejected over in Ambala when he was doing an air test or something. So the CO, late Jeffrey Beccaro, he was getting airborne in a fighter to go and have a look at him in Ambala. So he got airborne from Sirsa and he had a body to ejected over Sirsa.
Oh man.
So the wife, I believe, I was not in the squadron at that time. The first person to tell her was the Dhobi कि साहब का एक्सीडेंट हो गया. तो she said no, नंदी साहब का एक्सीडेंट हो गया. कहता है नंदी साहब का अम्बाला में है, साहब का यहाँ पे हो गया.
Oh God.
So after that we had a system. We had a system in the squadron that we isolate the lady, made sure the Dhobi doesn't go and tell her something. Okay, so
Keep the Dhobi away from the squadron.
No, anyone. So they isolated my wife. I was newly married for 6 months. She had no clue what I was doing, and then till the time the ambulance reached me, I was safe and sound. And then she said I found it very awkward that I saw the CO and his wife coming. Then I saw the station commander and his wife coming. So she was surprised. Why have they come to meet me? So that is when she came to know that he is ejected and he's fine and we are getting him to the hospital. Normally you prevent other people from dropping the bombshell.
Yeah. Sir, I forgot to ask you about Kargil and the MiG-21 and you. You were commanding then a MiG-21.
No, Kargil, you see, Kargil, we went in with the oldest aircraft. And we came out as one of the most decorated units of the Air Force. Okay. Why? Because we innovated. Okay, we used to encourage thinking even when we were in the squadron. And what did we innovate? When Air Marshal Vinod Patni asked me that, can you do night strikes? I said, give me 1 or 2 nights. I'll do my trials here and I'll do it. So we flew in within the mountain ranges, 1 kilometer above terrain level. And at night, of course, it was moon phase. And we were more accurate in our bombing and surprised the hell out of the enemy.
Yeah.
So because of which I think all 4 of us who did night strike, all 4 got decorated.
What did you hit, sir?
No, we were hitting army targets based on the target.
Which part of Kargil?
No, I think somewhere in Moscow, mostly. We were in the valleys. We were not. It was not battalic. We were not on top of the valley. No.
Right.
We were inside the valley because you could see in the moonlit night you could see the mountains above us. So the biggest threat was that if a cloud comes and covers the moon, you will go into the mountain. You'll kill yourself. So I used to lead because then go no go decision I can easily take. If there's a youngster in front, no, he'll keep thinking, CO kya bolega. So that's why I used to go in the front. And if there's a dark patch ahead, and I know that I'll not be able to release my weapon before the dark patch, then I would have aborted. Okay, and gone clear above target, above terrain level. So that is the risk which we took. And of course, like I have covered with you earlier only, there was a launch on the first night.
Yeah.
It was just a launch on the sound, and they didn't get anyone.
That was to which side? I mean, a surface-to-air missile.
That is a surface-to-air missile.
And you heard it?
No, I didn't
you
hear
saw
it. I saw that huge plume.
Where? If you were flying
below me. Coming
to your left?
To the right, I think. To the right, yeah.
To the right and coming towards you?
No, it was far superior. Low speed handling, it was far superior. Yeah, the missiles, they had a beyond visual range missile. We had a normal missile. But the missile, see, the Russians had designed it to take on the B-15. It was also designed that, okay, if a person is receding away from you, it's an IR missile, you are supposed to get it above the horizon and then fire. And you could fire it as low as 2 kilometers. But the question is, otherwise, it was not designed for close combat. You couldn't fire it more than 2G, that overload lamp used to come out. Till the R-60 came with close combat capabilities. So it was not a close combat missile by any chance. So it was meant to shoot down bombers. We are using the same aircraft to shoot down everybody, including the fighters.
Final question then, Chief. You retired as the Chief of the Air Staff 6 years ago, 2019. This is a question that I see a lot of people asking pilots and veterans. It may sound like a silly question, but believe me, people are curious about this. If you got into a MiG-21 right now, would you need to familiarize yourself or would you be able to fly it immediately?
No, lot of familiarization.
Yeah.
You see, when I was the chief, when I used to fly as the chief, I used to call a youngster from the squadron.
Okay.
Okay, he used to sit in front of me in the chief's office and I used to open the flip card, checks, procedures and emergencies. I used to tell him. He used to call out an emergency, I used to read it out. And then he used to say, sir, this you have missed. Then I had gone to Hindon, there's a ejection seat simulator there. I've done that also. God forbid if I have to eject, my hand should not get broken with those arm guard. So I used to do that. Then I used to go to that squadron and then fly a 2-seater. And sometimes the CO used to give me 1, sometimes he used to give me 2 sorties before he used to launch me solo. And then I went, see, laws of physics. Aircraft does not know who's inside. Man or woman, flying officer or air chief marshal. So laws of physics prevail. So there is no this thing on there. If you have to fly solo from the front or from the front cockpit, you have to give it a lot of time. Okay, otherwise you should not be there. Otherwise you are riding on luck.
Incredible. I mean, Vishnu, any final questions
No,
or
it's
words?
just wonderful speaking to you and to hear your words as such an experienced aviator, became our chief. for us in Balakot, your experiences on the MiG-21, and what a platform it's been. But it's time to say goodbye, and I think we're happy to say goodbye. Lots of memories, but it's been wonderful speaking to you. Control All Defense is going to be back, and we're going to keep talking about defense and aerospace. We have a certain bias towards aerospace on this podcast. But till the next episode, from Shivadur and me, goodbye.
Goodbye.